I'm going to be talking about a new lens that I just picked up. I haven't opened it yet, so this is going to be kind of an unboxing, but also a first impressions, and I'll also do some comparisons with some other lenses that I have. This is my first Sony G Master lens. So let's just go ahead and grab it and take a look at it. It's not in there. All right, so I did take it out of the box because I needed the other thing that came in the package, which was an SD card for that GoPro up there, but I haven't unwrapped it, as you can see. This is going to be really loud. I can probably just slide it out. No need to mess with the bubble wraps. And how should I unveil this? Oh, I know. Here we go. I'm going to move this out of the way. And just go like, oh, move this out of the way. Go like this. Boom. Did that get in the shot? I got the Sony FE 35mm f1.4 G Master. Continue the unboxing here. Let's keep the show moving. We'll talk about why I got it. Let me just remember to unbox it first. Unboxing lenses is not that exciting. There's typically not a whole lot of variation in what you get. There we go. That's the box. See you later. Who needs instructions for lenses? If you don't know how to use a lens, you're probably in the wrong hobby or profession. Here's the bag you get with a G Master. Gangsta mode, as somebody says.
G Master, gangsta mode, whatever you want to call it.
Get a strap for it. And the hood. Set that aside. Woo! It's a little heavier than I was expecting. I mean, I know I've read the specs, but it doesn't really mean much until you actually hold it. At least for me, it doesn't anyway. I'll put this back on before I touch something that I shouldn't touch. So if you're not familiar with the G Master lenses or even the G lenses from Sony, they have some extra features on them that the FE lenses, just your standard lenses, typically don't have, which is an aperture ring, and it's clickable. And they also have a switch over here that you can turn the clicks off, so you can have a nice smooth aperture change if you need to, for video purposes or just for being silent. You also click it over into automatic, and that way you just control it with the dial on your camera. They have automatic focus versus manual focus switch, and then also a function button that is usually set to focus hold, but you can change that in the camera menu. And they have a rubberized grip for the focus ring, which is, you know, really nicely damped, feels really smooth, very quiet. What I really like about them, the G lenses and the G Master lenses and that focus ring, is that you can easily turn them with your thumb. So you don't really need to put two hands on the lens in order to change focus, as opposed to the just your standard Sony lenses. I mean, you can do that too. This also feels really nice and smooth, but it takes a little bit more force, and you can see the lens kind of moving. Whereas this one, I can keep it pretty much rock solid and change focus with one finger or one thumb, as it were. I have a lot of lenses that cover 35mm. I have this Canon 16-35 f2.8. I have this Canon 24-105 f4. And I also have that lens right there, which is the Sigma 24-70 f2.8, and it's at a 35mm f2.8 currently. I didn't buy this to upgrade this shot here. I'm perfectly happy with using the 35 f1.8 for this YouTube shot. I think it looks awesome. I guess my main thinking about buying this lens and probably selling this one is just the overall size and form factor. For video shooting, I find that it's helpful to have a bigger lens, a bigger setup, a heavier setup, and a lens that has more functionality, in particular that aperture ring and a bigger front filter thread. So that really makes a big difference when you are using variable ND filters on these cameras that obviously don't have built-in NDs. It makes a big difference having a bigger filter. So this is a 67mm filter versus I think a 55. So this is going to take several adapters to get to either a 77mm or 82mm filter. And I actually just ordered a Revo ring, which are back ordered right now. So hopefully I'll be getting that in a few weeks, which will allow me to just forego those really cheap stepping rings here. So here's a couple here that I have. I've got two stacked on here, a 55 to 67 and a 67 to 77. So this is what I have to use to get this lens with a 77mm filter on it. But these are, the threads on these always wear out, and they'll either just get like locked onto your lens. Sometimes I've had to get pliers out to get them off the lens, or in the case of this 67, my screw-on neutral density filter won't seal onto this lens or won't screw onto this and stay tight. It's kind of a small thing, but it's those quality of life features that make the difference, I think. Image quality wise, I'm just gonna throw it on the camera. So now I have the G Master 35mm on the camera, and I have it set at 2.8 just so that I could match it with the Sigma 24 to 70 here. I'm gonna change it to 1.8 and 1.4 here in a little bit. So here's how it looks sharpness wise, color wise, in comparison with the Sigma. Another thing, so the big downfall for this lens in terms of its performance for video shooters is that focus breathing. So let me see if I can get it to focus on something besides my face. And you can see how it basically zooms a little bit. So that's unfortunate. And that's something that this little guy here doesn't do at all. And that's been, I mean, it's a really awesome quality for a lens for video. So here we're gonna compare it to the 35mm 1.8. So I'm gonna turn the G Master to 1.8 here in a second. And that is a huge difference in terms of brightness, going from a 2.8 to a 1.8. I had to turn my light, I don't know how much it was at 20%, now it's at like 7%. Big difference there, so there's 1.8. And I'm gonna show what it looks like at 1.4. Okay, I'm gonna turn my lights down even more. Maybe something like that, which is crazy. So my key light is bouncing off the wall and it's set to 5%. And it's only a 100 watt light, so it's not even like a aperture 300D or something, which you could understand needing to be at a really low output. So just camera settings in general. So that's f1.4, ISO 640, and shutter 1/50. So there's 1.4 on the G Master. This is what it looks like, sharpness, all that kind of stuff. You can see the crazy difference in light transmission. Cool. So we're just gonna throw the f1.8 on there. So again, I have a plethora of options in terms of a 35. I am gonna sell that one most likely. And I've also been trying to sell the 24 to 105 for Canon, because it's pretty redundant with the 24 to 70. I love the 16 to 35. Definitely gonna keep this one because I just love the wide angle 16mm. I do shoot some real estate photos from time to time, so I need that 16mm. And I just love the way this Canon lens looks. It's a really awesome lens. This is the version 2, not the newest version, but really like this one. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to show the new lens that I bought, give you some reasoning about why I bought it, and just kind of show it to you, show you how it compares to some of the other options that I have at this focal length. So I hope you found that somewhat enjoyable. I hope you guys have had a nice holiday. And you know, if you're watching this sometime around the time that I'm making it, I also hope that you have a fantastic New Year's celebration and that your new year, 2022, gets off to a fantastic start. So thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in another video.